How close were you with Owen, and any particular memories of Owen?
Close. I liked Owen. Owen was a good friend of mine, and some of the other guys. I got along with the ring crew guys and stuff better than I did with some of the talent. Although I didn't, there was no um, blatant animosity between me and anybody. Some of the things that went back and forth over the recent years since I've been, or while I've been out of the business, you know, they're new to me. Everybody got along with everybody.
Rick Rude came in, obviously someone you had worked with before, and they began a program with you and Rude for the Intercontinental
He was
Championship.
there before I got there.
Right? Was he? Okay. You're right. He was. I apologize. Were you excited about getting back in the ring with Rick?
Yeah, I liked Rick.
Any specific personal memories of dealing with him, or I mean, he's no longer with us.
People involved in the decision making process now,
Right.
and they didn't have that then. And throughout the company there was an overall optimism about working and being on the road and having the opportunity to perform in front of people and be your character. And I remember that about Rick. In other words, nobody really drugged themselves, like it was a drag to be in the business.
Right.
I mean, there were a lot of people got tired from the road travel and the schedule and being away from home and stuff. But for the most part, when you got to the arena and it was time to do the match and the show was going on, everybody was optimistic. Everybody went to the ring, and it wasn't. It was exciting and energizing to go to the ring and perform. Rick was like that. He was meticulous in what he wanted to do. Um, he wanted to make the match work.
Kurt Hennig, who's no longer with us. He worked with Mr. Perfect.
Most of the people aren't. They're no longer with us.
We're gonna get into that. What did you think of working with Kurt?
Kurt was a good guy. He was funny. He was good in the locker room. He was always pulling ribs, and he was a great athlete. It's easy to work with guys like that sort of got springs in their legs.
Right.
They bump all over and stuff. You just you throw a punch and they go.
Randy Savage, is he as intense as it's said that he is?
Yeah, he is. We both got A personalities, and typically when you get two people of the same type of personality, there's a clashing.
Right.
But there wasn't between us. We had really good chemistry, and I like Randy as a person. He was a really stand-up guy. I think he's mischaracterized in a lot of ways too, because he is.
Right. You teamed with Road Warriors, who were working as Legion of Doom against Demolition. Did a lot of six-man tags.
Right.
Anything stand out in your mind about those matches? Because it was pretty much like every major character who had worn face paint, other than Sting, working pretty much the same program at once.
No, I liked working with those guys. Of course, they were in the business as the Road Warriors, and just incredible success, and made a huge impact on the business way before we got in it. They painted their face. They were using the concept as warrior. But when they came in, I was already established up at WWF, and I didn't push it in their face.
Right.
I had respect for them because I'd watched them when I first got in the business, and we both let one another do our warrior things. Like in interviews and stuff, I would put them over for how incredible I thought they were, how Ultimate Warrior would act like how incredible he thought they were, and they would put Ultimate Warrior over.
About the time they brought in the Undertaker character,
Mm-hmm.
what was your first reaction to the character? Because that was, other than the Warrior, the first real supernatural character that they had.
I liked it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked Mark. He was a good guy. And they brought him in and kept him off the TV thinking about what character to give him. And then we did the angle. And then the first town we worked was Albany, New York, I think. And the people really got behind the Undertaker gimmick.
Are you surprised he had the longevity that he's still going today?
I never thought about it,
Right.
whether he would or he wouldn't. I think it says a lot about him, though.
Shawn Michaels, what did you think about? You tag teamed with him a couple of times. What did you think of Shawn as a performer?
Definitely talented and skilled. I mean, incredibly talented. He had always had good confidence about his own abilities in the ring and stuff. Not a lot of people's taste, but I mean, you can't fault the guy for the talent that he had to be able to do things he did in the ring.
Right. Davey Boy Smith, you mentioned earlier that you guys were the scapegoat for Vince, and here he was. You and Davey were both back in the company in heavily pushed positions. What'd you think of working with Davey? What'd you think of him as a person?
Davey, I've written about Davey when he died, about how unfortunate it is that he didn't grow up and he continued to do um, immature things that he was able to get away with when he was younger, and they eventually, they ultimately caught up with him. I have an affection, a special place in my heart, I guess, in my memories for Davey Boy and Dynamite Kid. They sort of took me under their wing when I went up there, and had a lot of fun, did a lot of goofy stuff, and made a lot of light of being on the road and being away from home and stuff. All those guys, I mean, I never faulted. I never sat back and faulted anybody for whatever skills they had. Anybody. I'm not on the record doing that until people started criticizing me, and I got out of the business and legitimately got on with my life, recognized that wrestling and what I did there was a great chapter in my life, but there were other things I could do, and people just, I don't know, they got offended by that. And I got defensive about saying, hey, whoa, hold on a minute.